Democratic strategist James Carville made this statement, which has come embedded in the annals of politics, saying it's the economy, stupid, with regard to elections. And it may be that Donald Trump will eventually fall, not because he is one of the rudest, ugliest human beings ever to run any country, and not because of January 6, 2021, and not because of any other attempts like ICE to violate civil liberties, but simply because economically, because gas prices get too high, and eventually even some of his supporters will hive off, and that may be the end. However, there is the other side. The black sociologist of many, many years ago, Du Bois, did a survey as to why poor whites in the South couldn't see themselves aligning with poor blacks, and instead continued to be very racist. And what he discovered was that it was enough for the ruling class to say, you're better than those blacks. And that seemed to be enough for them. They could still live economically like impoverished rats, but it was enough. So it wasn't always the economy. And this is what is happening now all over Latin America as part of the worldwide wave to the right. The most recent incident being in Colombia. Colombia, for the first time after many years of right-leaning presidents, actually had a left-leaning president, Gustavo Petro. And I think that presidents are limited to one term. So now there is a runoff between a right-wing candidate and a left-wing candidate who's more or less a successor to Petro. And at the moment, initially, it looks like the right-wing candidate will win. And so here's the thing. The left-wing candidate is putting emphasis on the economic injustices and getting better conditions for the majority of Colombians. He also is trying to negotiate, as did Petro, peacefully with some of the rebellious elements in Colombia, elements which have never been extinguished, let us say. It's a country perpetually in some kind of low-key guerrilla war. But he is also emphasizing economic injustice. Now, the right-winger, there should be better conditions for the workers and so on. But his main appeal is to the fact that there is a high crime rate, and by God, he's going to do those criminals in. And one of his heroes is the president of El Salvador, also a hero of Trump, by the way, who has done a very good job of lowering the street crime rate in El Salvador, but he's been jailing as many people who are innocent as people who are guilty. And of course, that's one of the reasons why he is favored by Trump and other right-wingers. His name is Bukele, and already the UN has censored him. And so once again, if he wins, it's going to be proof that it's not the economic issues that always take place. People everywhere seem to be in a very hateful mood. People are in a very punitive mood, as opposed to being in a more positive thinking about what can be done with their fellow human beings to improve the conditions of life. More or less it's, hey, there's a lot of crime, let's punish these bastards. Yeah, the other side may put more emphasis on our economic situation, but the priority is to get these criminals off the street. And we've seen this all throughout Latin America. Milei in Argentina, who's an absolute nutcase, slashing what welfare Argentina has. And yet he did come in a popular revolt. On a personal note, I like people very much. All my jobs have been dealing with people. But I like people as individuals, but sometimes I think the human race collectively just doesn't have it.